Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you for joining me today again to get into God's Word. I'm really excited to be going through the Bible with you, and it's just been really exciting. I've been enjoying filming these videos, and every time that I film one, I just get more excited to film another one. So I just know that that is the Spirit of God and working through me and getting me excited to do this. And if you're new here, we've been going into the book of Ecclesiastes the last couple of videos, so that's where we're going to be going back into today. So I have my Bible here. This is the same one that I've been using. Again, this is the Revised Standard Version. This is the second Catholic edition from Ascension. So we're just going to get right into the Word today. I am excited to go back into Ecclesiastes, and today we are going to be doing chapter 3 in Ecclesiastes. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3. Everything has a season. For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek, and a time to lose, a time to keep, and a time to cast away, a time to tear, a time to tear, and a time to sow, a time to keep silence, and a time to speak, a time to love, and a time to hate, a time for war, and a time for peace. What gain has the worker from his toil? God-given tasks. I have seen the business that God has given to the sons of men to be busy with. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Also, he has put eternity into man's mind, yet so that he cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end. I know that there is nothing better for them than to be happy and enjoy themselves as long as they live. Also, that it is God's gift to a man that everyone should eat and drink and take pleasure in all his toil. I know that whatever God does endures forever. Nothing can be added to it, nor anything taken away from it. God has made it so, in order that men should fear before him. That which is already has been. That which is to be already has been, and God seeks what has been driven away. Judgment and the future belong to God. Moreover, I saw under the sun that in the place of justice, even there was wickedness, and in the place of righteousness, even there was wickedness. I said in my heart, God will judge the righteous and the wicked, for he has appointed a time for every matter and for every work. I said in my heart with regard to the sons of men, that God is testing them to show them that they are but beasts. For the fate of the sons of men and the fate of beasts is the same. As one dies, so dies the other. They all have the same breath, and man has no advantage over the beasts, for all is vanity. All go to one place. All are from the dust, and all turn to dust again. Who knows whether the spirit of man goes upward and the spirit of the beast goes down to the earth? So I saw that there is nothing better than that a man should enjoy his work, for that is his lot. Who can bring him to see what will be after him? So similarly in chapter 3, similarly to the previous chapter 2, there was in this first section of Everything Has a Season. I really like this because, I mean, it is true. I think sometimes as people, we try to hold on to things, you know, sometimes for too long, sometimes relationships or certain situations in life. but everything has a season. And I really just like how that part of the Bible is written, but I also love how it ends with, which is verse 9, what gain has the worker from his toil? So that was what we were talking about in the last video in chapter 2. You know, what is there to gain from the toil of this earth at the end of the day? And then the next part of this chapter, God-given tasks. I really like this section of God-given tasks because it's talking about how God has put eternity in our minds. Like, we are able to think about so much, right? Like, conceptualize and know that, you know, for instance, we're smarter than animals, right? Like, we know we have morals, we have ethics, we know that something created us internally. I feel like that's something that even if people don't like to admit it, we have this like instinctual knowingness that something created us. I love how it says that God has put eternity into man's mind, yet he cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end. Like, we're constantly, for as long as we're on this earth, however long God decides we're deserving to be here, we're going to be wondering, you know, what his plan is, but we'll never know. We'll never know. And that's part of the mystery and part of the beauty. And that's putting faith in God, is that we're not going to know, but we know that it's him. And then this last section of judgment and the future belongs to God. I love how it's talking about even in the places of righteousness, there's wickedness. I mean, how many times have we, you know, there's been idols or people that people have idolized and then you realized they're a psycho, you know, or like they're doing these evil things. It's like, even in the righteousness, there's wickedness. That's absolutely something that is happening in our time. And then it just ends with saying that we all go to one place, like animals and humans. We're all going to the same place at the end of the day. And it says they all have the same breath, and man has no advantage over the beasts, for all is vanity, which goes back to the last section again of talking about vanity and toil. At the end of the day, it's like God put us here. He provided everything for us, yet man is so ambitious. We're so ambitious. We want so much. We just want more and more and more and more. But like, we're just the same as the beasts. We're just going to go down the same way. Like, who knows whether the spirit of man goes upward and the spirit of the beast goes down to the earth. So I saw that there is nothing better than that a man should enjoy his work, for that is his lot. So this was chapter 3 of Ecclesiastes. I want to thank you for joining me in this video and getting into God's word together. It's really nice going through Ecclesiastes. I mean, I chose this to be the first book that I wanted to go through just because I find that it is not that many people, sometimes people talk about Ecclesiastes, but it's not one that people normally talk about as frequently as, say, like Psalms or like the Proverbs or stuff like that. So, but I feel like it has so much wisdom for where we are right now. And that's why I really wanted to dive into this section of the Bible. But that's where we're going to stop for now. And then in the next video, we'll get into chapter 4. But thank you again for joining me, and we'll see each other in the next Bible reading.